And we are live. Happy Monday. And Lauren's here today. What's up, Lauren?
Hey, Sam. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yeah, May 19th, believe it or not. And we are just in this summer cycle. It's been awesome. And we had a big weekend this last weekend.
Yep, I know. Huge. Big 5Ks. Lots of baseline 5Ks. It was fun.
Yeah, we had some sick photos coming out of that event, which is why I wanted you to be on the weekend review today so we could talk about the 5K and all of just the awesome stuff that you have going on with our OXFIT run club slash endurance club because we do a lot more than just running on those Sunday mornings. But just going back to the 5K, how did you feel going into it? Were you nervous? Were you happy with your time? Did you enjoy running in the rain?
Yeah, the rain was needed. It was so humid. It was so muggy. So we were all thankful for the rain. I know people were texting me after that made the decision to not join. You missed out if you did not come because the rain felt amazing. And the photos came out really good. So yeah, we got some good photos. But yeah, 5Ks hurt. So I was a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't just gone out and run a 5K. Like the way we kickstarted our endurance club was,
Good
hey,
morning,
Key.
Key.
I love that. The way we kickstarted our run club was with a dry triathlon and some track intervals. So it was pretty cool to like set our baseline 5K at an official neighborhood 5K race as a team. So yeah, like my nerves were a little high. I'm sure the rest of our teams were. And I had done this one last year. So it's really fun. It's a great course. And Caitlin did an awesome job. Shout out to Caitlin with our warm up. She warmed up the entire 1,000 people from Atlanta, Southeast Atlanta, that were there, which was pretty cool. Very badass. And Yeah, no, it was a good morning, and it was hilarious, Anna, because people came out so hot, like. And it's a testament to our run club and the way we program because people need to learn their pace. Like
Mhm.
people were sprinting like 6 minute mile, and I mean, if you can hold that, some of them can hold that. That's fine. But if you start out your first mile 6 minute, 7 minute mile, and you can't hold that, you're in for injury. You're in for a rough time. But anyways, we all crushed it. We all did great. Had a good time, and I think honestly, I was guilty. I started out like a little hot, so then my pace dropped a little bit. So I'm excited to do some more of our track intervals through the run club because that's what it's about, is like learning speed and endurance, and like learning how to pace yourself, how to push your pace so that you can get a faster time next time, but how to do it smartly, to avoid injury. So
Right. Yeah, I think, and I love that we did it as a baseline. I feel like so many, running programs or people will be waiting, waiting, waiting. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But we just said, get out there, do the best you can. We're going to run it. We're going to walk it if you have to. And it's truly going to be the starting point because our run club, endurance club really just kind of kicked off now that we, finished the High Rocks race we were training for. And we're gearing up for more of these really great road races and then even the triathlons coming up in the fall. So it was a really cool opportunity to set that baseline. And
it was. And I think people surprise themselves. Like I surprised
mhm,
myself. I thought, just because I hadn't been out running 5Ks, that it might not go as well, as maybe I
mhm,
wanted it to. But I PR'd from last year, and I got it 5K in 27 minutes. And Nate crushed his. He was like 26 something. I think Adam maybe
yeah,
got his around 22. Caitlin did amazing. She had a little issue with her hamstring, but now she'll get that straightened out. And Erica was pushing her son Frank, who is not young. He's 4, and she finished hers in like 33 minutes, I think she texted me and said. So with a
that's
stroller,
awesome.
that's impressive. Stroller, rain, and yeah, so everyone crushed it. So it's a
Yeah.
kudos to like you and our programming kickstarting the year. Like people don't realize that what we do does prepare you for its variety, it's functional, and you can just go out and run a 5K and
Mhm.
do relatively good, without actually running 5Ks for the 4 weeks leading up to it. So
Yeah, and people don't realize that they have to think about it in terms of like the time that you're working. All of our cardio workouts or other workouts we've done in the gym, if they're between that like 25 and 35 minutes in length, which most of them are, that's training for a 25 to 35-minute race, whether it's riding a bike, whether it's running, whether it's, doing anything else.
yeah.
So just because you haven't physically been going out and running 3 miles on sidewalk doesn't mean you haven't been training for it. And I think that's kind of the philosophy behind our run club and our endurance club is not getting all the way to running every single week, but we're just kind of bridging that gap between all the functional training we do in the gym to going and crushing those 5Ks, 10Ks, triathlons, whatever it is. Yeah, that's why the title of this episode is Running Makes You Weaker, because we know that to be fastest, your strongest self, we can't just be going out and running all the time because it is going to lead to injury. And you've conquered
Yep.
some awesome races, full marathons, 5Ks, triathlons, while maintaining a previous soccer injury in your knee, right? So do you want to speak a little bit more to how you think like the functional training has helped you with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, variety is key. Our bodies thrive off of being challenged and like mixing up the stimuli. You people that are just doing repetitive running or repetitive biking, repetitive swimming, even, you're working the same joints and the same muscle groups over and over and over again. And you're more likely to injure those joints, right? And weaken them, if you're not doing a strength training routine in between. And so, yeah, I mean, I experienced this with soccer repetition and injuring my meniscus, tearing it pretty severely and needing to undergo 2 arthroscopic surgeries, being told by a medical doctor to never run again. But I found that fitness through variety was able to help me weaken my imbalances and my atrophy in my muscles, so that I could build the muscles back up again and do different things, so that I was adding in that variety, staying fit and not just beating up and pounding, the same muscles. So yeah, maybe running and that I shouldn't be just running. That was some good advice, but being able to add in, what we do, functional hybrid cross training into my routine, actually helped me get back to running, and now I do it smartly. And that's why we have a run club and an endurance club through OXFIT, is that it's fun. Like, running is fun. I love running. Like, I love running a race. I had a great time crossing that finish line, like picking up the pace, and sprinting across that finish line. The adrenaline rush is amazing. So, if you do have an injury, or you are a runner, like, yeah, come join us, because we will find a way to get you, back to running safely, or to keep running, but to avoid injury. Hopefully you haven't had injury yet, and even if you did have an injury, and I still have some muscle imbalance in my legs because I, didn't do this soon enough after college. Had I had OXFIT like right away after my surgeries, I would probably be in much better shape joint wise right now. But yeah, that is why we created our endurance club, so that we can add that variety in, and we can, get you across the finish line without just beating up your knees and ankles, for a year before a marathon. Like, we're gonna work your core. We're gonna do single leg stuff to get you, stronger, to figure out where those imbalances are, to build your strength, your endurance, your balance, rebuild, some of that like coordination and mobility that you might have like lost through injury and through that repetitive motion. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think it helps so much for, even if you hadn't had any bad experiences with running, you've been perfectly healthy, like you still are just by default going to be overworking those quads and hip flexors. So if you are squatting and deadlifting and engaging your core, we're going to be building those glutes and your hamstrings and the core strength and just getting you to be a more, I guess, powerful, explosive athlete so that you can pick up the pace and sprint across the finish line and not, pull your hamstring at the last minute or whatever, or, switch
Yeah,
it up. If you normally do road races and you want to try a trail race, that's great. But if you don't have the musculature to support your joints when you're in a new terrain or you're stepping up or stepping down, those things can be a recipe for disaster for some people and they can be no big deal for other people. So we want our athletes to be able to take on any challenge and it be a no big deal situation and not a, oh my God, I've never sat on a bike for an hour. I don't know if I can hold myself up that long, which that could lead to back issues and, all sorts of things because, you need certain muscle groups way more than you think you do for all types of activities.
totally. Yeah, absolutely. You get on that bike for 25 to 50 miles in like a triathlon, and you are going to be thrown off by wind and like fatigue. And if your core is not strong enough, I mean, I experienced this. Like, I thought I had a strong core, and then I got on a triathlon bike for the first time, and it's so light and so wobbly. Like, I almost just like toppled over, the first time a wind gust came through. So, like, yeah, you need to be working your core, doing plank holds like for time, like we're doing in our and L sits for time, like we're doing in our summer six pack challenge right now. That stuff will directly correlate to helping
Mhm.
you on a long bike ride. Even things like sitting on the bike for a little bit for a 90-second sprint, like we're doing in the couch to peach tree workout. That's going to build the strength that you need when you're pushing towards the end of a 25-mile bike race. You need that leg endurance. And so we are able to give you that strength and that stimulus and the mental strength, that it
Mhm.
takes to like transition between different components in a triathlon. You're getting that same, like that fight and that feeling when you get off the bike on couch to Peachtree and then you have to quickly transition in 90 seconds and then get on the air runner and go run for 90 seconds, for
Right.
max calories. Like that feeling getting off the bike and your legs feeling jelly and you have to get on the runner and you're still kind of trying to get a hold of your breath. Like that is the same feeling you get when you're transitioning at a triathlon between getting off the bike and then going to finish your triathlon on a 6-mile run, so
Oh yeah.
you don't yeah, that's the probably the hardest transition, right? The bike to the
Mhm.
run. um but yeah, it's super cool because we're able to get you there by doing all of this stuff in the gym, so
Yeah.
you're able to give your joints a break. You don't have to just be swimming in a pool constantly to be
Yeah.
able to do a triathlon. Come do our dry triathlon that we just did, where we ski erged, which is a very similar stimulus to the swim. You're working your upper body. It's a very powerful machine that requires, upper body strength and core strength. And then you're getting off and you're going for, we did a 35-calorie bike ride, and then legs are jelly, and then you're heading up Grant Street to Kendrick for an 800-meter run.
Yeah.
And those transitions and like feeling like how you're moving from one muscle group to the next is going to help you get to that triathlon at the end of the season. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I think definitely the fitness side of things, it's quite simple. I mean, and I feel very confident in saying that we kind of have it down to a science when it comes to training people for these events. So if you're coming into the gym and strength training 3 to 4 times per week, and then you're coming to an accessory workout like the Sunday Run Club, where we're using different training modalities, not just going outside and running on the sidewalk,
mhm.
doing that from now until your race day is going to get you there being healthy. You're going to feel super confident and you're going to be just in a great place fitness wise, probably, surpassing where you would be if you're just trying to train alone and just go run 4 times a week by yourself like you've been doing for however long.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll give you the mental fuel. Look at that that you need. And,
Yeah.
we have fun. Like you don't want your workouts to get stale. If you're
No,
just
we want
uh,
everyone crossing the finish line looking like that for sure.
yeah, fit, kind of
Jacked,
something, and jacked. Yeah.
jacked, looking like an endurance athlete.
Look at those boulder shoulders squeezing into that
Yeah.
tricep.
You need them. You obviously need them. But yeah, yeah, we want people to feel that confident and look that ripped across the finish line for sure. But also a big part of that is having some support coach with your nutrition would really, encourage our athletes to not only come train with us, obviously in the gym and outside, lean on us for that nutrition support and guidance from you as the endurance coach or one of our other OXFIT coaches to learn how to fuel your body for this type of training,
Yeah.
which I know you have a lot of experience doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is the biggest area that I think people overlook, is the energy that you need to be able to get through long endurance workouts like we're doing. We're starting
Hmm.
these already. We're starting these now. We're doing, track interval training. We're doing long runs. We're doing long hybrid training sessions. And really, like anything over like an hour, you need to make sure you've not only fueled with enough carbs and let's go for the workout, but also you potentially might.
Look at you passing that girl.
I know. I love passing someone at the end of a race. Like
Yeah,
if there's someone not too far in front of me, I'm picking up my speed. Even if the woman was like 20 years older than me. But hey,
who cares?
it's an endorphin boost.
Yeah,
um,
dang.
but yeah, it probably is to your point, fueling is probably the most overlooked area. And I think you experienced this in a little bit in some of your races, right? Like I know your body
I experience it in every race I do
you don't digest
because
it.
I still am of learning how to eat while I race, but
Yeah.
you have been a big help for me for that. So
Yeah, running a marathon together going, Savannah, when's the last time you've eaten? You need to eat something, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, it's it's a shame, right? If you work super
Hmm.
hard leading up to a race and then you cramp or something like that happens, that can be avoided with a proper nutrition plan. And so yeah, that's what I really have a passion for helping people do this, because I have to say, knock on some wood around here, but I've learned really how to nutrition, how to fuel during races, and I've never had an issue with being dehydrated or not fueled, not having enough in my energy tank. And there's something called bonking during a race that happens pretty frequently, and when it does,
Yeah.
yes, doing it alone totally sucks. Yeah, you don't figure this out on your own. Like, we've got coaches here and plenty of athletes that want to do it together. So we'll figure this out together. But yeah, I'm really good at helping other people understand how to fuel and how to get across the finish line myself. So yeah, there's a science to it. You need to have energy available. And if you don't replenish that during race, especially a race that's over an hour long, you will bonk, they say. And that literally is the worst feeling, because you hit this point where your legs just cannot take a step forward or cannot pedal another rotation. You cannot, you just literally are so fatigued and empty. You start feeling lightheaded and dizzy, and and you see it. People just literally faint, fall on the side, start cramping, whatever. Either they don't have enough energy in the tank, or they're not hydrated. And there is a science to it based on body weight and like energy exertion and level of intensity, all of this stuff. And I have learned how to do this through, you know, um, being a college soccer player and doing long races myself, including a half Ironman once. So, yeah, I would love to be able to share that knowledge with any of our endurance athletes that are signing up for any race this summer. Under fueling, it can lead to like not sleeping enough. It can lead to hormones, acting up, your mood not being great, like your immunity system literally starting to fail. So don't get sick. Don't, like impair your sleep or your recovery by not feeling properly. So we can come up with a plan together and what a schedule would look like for, training days, race day, all of that.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's awesome. Everyone is interested in doing something like this. It would be crazy not to use you as a resource and not to come out and use the Run Club, Endurance Club as a way to train. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's all great
Yeah.
advice.
We have some fun stuff coming up. I'm pumped. Like we've
Oh
got,
yeah, here's our events right here.
our event list is stacked. So we've already done our baseline 5K. We've got a sprint triathlon coming up, which if you want to test out a triathlon before the big one on September 6th in the Gulf Shores, come with us to Lake Lanier. It's a great one. It's shorter, right? And we're going to have a team there doing it together. Shake the cobwebs off, like fail at something, even if you're not fully ready. Like it's really helpful to experience one before you go do, a longer one if you're doing the Olympic, especially in September. So don't miss out on the Lake Lanier Sprint Tri. June 1st, well, I know we'll scroll down in a second, but June 1st, before that sprint triathlon, we have a big training day where we're going to do some running and then some swimming, open water swimming. So don't miss that. But then we also have the Peachtree Road Race coming up. Yeah, the 10K. And we've already started training for that with our baseline 5K. And then the other day we went to the track and did some intervals. So we're getting ready for that. And yeah, that Gulf Shores Triathlon, you got your eyes set on that. Sign up before June 13th because the price goes up. So I need to do that myself. It's also helpful to sign up because once you're officially signed up, your mind is set on showing up to these training days. So commit, just sign up. It'll be cheaper and it'll help you because you'll just start, actually committing to like following through on your training plan. Yeah, and then for the training schedule, like I said, coming up, we've got Murph on Memorial Day. So technically the Run Club is resting and we're coming to Murph. Sunday, Sunday, June 1st, we're planning on meeting at 9 a.m. at Red Top Mountain in Lake Lanier. And that's where we're going to get some good practice in for how to swim in a group in open water. And it's super important to get one of those under your belt before you get in open water, because if you've just been pool swimming, it's very different. I've been doing some pool swims, which is important to build some endurance and practice your technique and everything, but it is very different than getting in some dark, open water where you now need to learn how to sight, and sighting is looking up while you're swimming to see where the heck you are. There's no black line on the floor to follow. There's no walls to push off of. This is probably still my weakest area with open water swimming. I like to swim like this. So I need some practice. So come practice with me. It's also really helpful to get in that open water before race day because we need to simulate race conditions, what it's like to swim next to somebody, what it's like to get elbowed in the face, what it's like to accidentally swim on top of someone or vice versa. How the heart rate elevates when something like that happens. It's good for you to know how to overcome that in practice for the first time, rather than having to learn how to calm yourself down in a race situation. So yeah, don't miss that. And then, yeah, I mean, if you have not received this email, let me know if you're interested because I will forward it to you. But it's pretty detailed. It's got the entire training plan for the whole summer, including when we're doing our hybrid stuff inside the gym, when we're hitting the track at Cheney Stadium, when we're doing a group, 3 to 5 mile run around the park. You can see here the variety that we've got planned. There's been a lot of thought that's gone into this, and it's guaranteed to get you to the finish line on September 6th if you sign up. So
yeah, I mean, and now's the time if people did and I know there's a lot of people that have said, I'm doing marathon this year. I'm going with you guys. I don't want to miss it again because the video is always sick and people get FOMO, but now's the time to start. I mean, you've got all of this laid out. Yeah, wouldn't want to go hang out with all of these people
Yeah.
on the beach after the track. It's just the best.
And look how fit you get,
Um,
look how fit you get.
yeah, everybody's tan, everybody's jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have such a blast.
I know.
This will be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if
Miss you.
anyone is wanting to get on that road to being a runner, an endurance athlete, then they need to get on that email. They need to pick an event up for. I think that's the biggest one. They can't just,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to start training and then I'm going to see how I feel. No. Put it on paper, pay your money, sign up for an event, and know that you're going to do it. You're going to make sure you get there feeling super confident. You need to be coming to strength training workouts 3 to 4 times a week, and you have to be going to that Sunday run club as much as you can to get all of those experiences that you were just talking about. And you really want to just put the cherry on top and take it to the next level, I think you would need to lean on Lauren as your coach for this and get a nutrition plan going so that you learn how to fuel your body leading up to and during the race so that you can, mitigate any risk of cramping or not eating enough, fainting, whatever could happen.
Don't.
Yeah, I think OXFIT has the recipe for success if people want to buy into it. So we need you guys to let us know. And as always, we're gonna bug people in class and get them to sign up for stuff. So
That's right. We'll be in touch.
yeah.
Cool.
And the biggest thing I think somebody threw up a comment is not having to do it alone.
Yeah.
A lot of these events I have heard like at Gulf Shore. So,
Yeah. Yeah. There's no better feeling than, like going through those hard days of training, and then crossing the finish line and looking back on that and like all the laughs and all the challenges and struggles you'll have during training leading up to the race and then finishing the race together, that bond that you build with your team, and that shared experience is something that you'll remember forever and that you have built some like great relationships with other people over as well. So the memories that you'll have from that will be priceless, really.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm pumped. Those videos gave me FOMO, a little bit of PTSD, but most FOMO for what I might miss out on this year. But I'm so excited for everybody that's getting to do it. I'm excited to join in some of these Sunday run clubs and just get out to the lake, to the track with you guys. And
Yeah.
thank you, Lauren, for all of your knowledge and joining me on the podcast.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me, Sav.
All right. Well, happy Monday, everybody. Reach out to me. Reach out if you want to get on that Sunday Run Club email, and we will get you started, get you signed up for something. But have a great day, and I will see you guys in the gym.
See you soon.